Are user research findings facts or still assumptions? In my work with companies, I realize again and again that there is a constant striving for facts. The management wants facts, the PO wants facts, the team wants facts. We need facts, facts, facts. But what are facts? Can we obtain them with user research? And do we really need them? Hello product people, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Mimi and I'm a UX and discovery coach. Okay, let's start with a few definitions. A fact is a piece of information that is proven to be true. In social sciences, it is defined as an indisputable observation of a natural or social phenomenon. We can see it directly and show it to others. Assumptions, on the other hand, are made without supporting evidence. They are best guesses without a proof. But that does not mean that they cannot be based on data. Sometimes our assumptions are semi-informed, but still they are guesses. Insights from early interviews or stakeholder discussions can, for instance, be the basis for assumptions. Those informed or semi-informed assumptions are sometimes called presumptions. But let's not become complicated by introducing new terms repeatedly. In scientific terminology, an assumption is called a hypothesis.
Hypothesis.
And also, in user research, we call those assumptions that we want to test further our hypotheses. Okay, last definition. Research findings are the outcome of an experiment or investigation. This includes all the data and information collected. In qualitative research, this could be something a participant articulated or something a researcher observed. In quantitative research, this could be the results of a survey or an A/B test. Okay, and here we come to the full circle. If facts are indisputable observations, then research findings are facts, right? Well, I'm not so sure, so let's take a step back. When do informed guesses become facts? Well, strictly speaking, never. In scientific theory, a
hypothesis
can never be proven true. It can only be tested and then falsified if it really is false. This is because it's generally impossible to examine all exceptions that would disprove them, that would falsify them. And this is also described by the black swan metaphor. Let's say you assume that there are only white swans in this world. Then every white swan that you encounter would prove your assumption, right? But what if you would travel to Australia? You would find out that there are black swans in Australia and your white swan assumption would be refuted. And I'm not so sure, but I think up until now, no pink swans have been discovered, but we don't know, maybe they are out there. Philosopher Karl Popper thus stated his theory of falsification. Instead of trying to prove that all swans are white, he suggested looking for the black swans that would refute the initial
hypothesis.
And as long as you are not finding any black or pink or green swans, your
hypothesis
is not falsified. But how can we transfer this to user research? Well, even if we don't want to do or can't do user research by scientific standards, I strongly encourage you to look for the black swans in your most crucial or dearest assumptions. Try to falsify them instead of trying to prove them. Every experiment that then does not falsify your assumption solidifies it. Okay, let's come back to our initial question. What is the answer to that? In my latest blog post, which I will link in the description below, I discussed strength of evidence. And for gathering evidence, we are conducting user research experiments, right? But what is it that we get out of the experiments? Are the data that we collect actually facts, or are they still assumptions? In my opinion, the answer is that user research findings are still assumptions. I like to avoid speaking of facts when it comes to user research. I instead like to frame it like this. Every research that does not refute or falsify our initial assumptions leads to better informed assumptions. Better informed assumptions lead to sounder risk mitigation, leads to better informed decisions. The reason why I try not to use the term facts is that user research, like most companies conduct it, is prone to a lot of bias, errors, and misconceptions. And that is the nature of things. Of course, for the results we need, we can't set up studies that meet scientific standards every time. We have neither the resources nor the time for that. Accordingly, we have to cut back on the quality of findings. But that is okay, in my opinion, because what we need are not facts. What we need are the basics for mitigating the risks, and assumptions are sufficient for that. Hi, this is Editing Mimi, and I have noticed that I have told you complete nonsense at this point. I actually wanted to say that assumptions that are based on strong evidence are sufficient to mitigate the risks, even if we don't call them facts. Okay, those were my thoughts on assumptions and facts in user research. If you found this video helpful, like it, share it, and comment on it. And if you want to see more content like this, subscribe to my channel and activate the notifications. This way you will never miss one of my videos. Okay, thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye.